On May 21, 2023, under a shower of confetti, a dream came true on a Hollywood stage. An 18-year-old from Kahuku, Hawaii, with a voice as warm as the Pacific sun, was crowned the winner of American Idol. His name was Iam Tongi, and he was everything the show was about: raw talent, an unlikely victory, and a story that grabbed the heart of a nation. But as the cheers roared and the cameras flashed, a shadow lingered just outside the spotlight. This victory wasn't just the end of a tough road, but the start of a new one, and in many ways, a much harder one. From the outside, it looked like a fairy tale. The kid who was priced out of paradise, who sang in memory of his late father, had won it all. But what the viewers at home couldn't see, what the triumphant music and falling confetti couldn't show, was the deep emptiness that came next. He was living a life most people can only dream of, but he was fighting a sadness he just couldn't shake. This is the story of what happens when the fairy tale ends. It's a story of incredible loss, the crushing weight of instant fame, and one young man's fight to find himself after the world thought they already knew who he was. This is the heartbreaking tragedy of Iam Tongi. To get the whole picture, you have to start with the triumph. When Iam Tongi first appeared on American Idol, it was like a force of nature. He wasn't just another contestant, he was a phenomenon from his very first note. His audition, a raw and emotional performance of James Blunt's Monsters, became the most watched audition in the show's history, racking up millions of views in just a few days. It wasn't just a song. It was a prayer, a tribute, and an introduction to a grief so real it came right through the screen. He stood in front of the judges, Lionel Richie, Katy Perry, and Luke Bryan, a gentle giant with a shy smile and an old soul. He wasn't just holding his guitar. He was carrying the weight of a story he never planned to share. He explained that his family had to leave their home in Hawaii for Washington State because they were priced out of paradise. Then, when asked about his musical inspiration, he broke down. With tears in his eyes, he shared that his father, Rodney, his hero and first music teacher, had passed away just months before, and then, he sang. The words, "I'm not your son, you're not my father," were just two grown men saying goodbye, were delivered with a fragile power that left the judges speechless and in tears. This wasn't a performance for a golden ticket. It was a son singing to his dad, and America was just there to witness it. He got a standing ovation and a ticket to Hollywood, but he also created a powerful bond with the audience. Throughout the season, Iam was a symbol of authenticity. He didn't need flashy dance moves or booming vocals. His power was in his stillness and his sincerity. He brought the soulful, laid-back sounds of his island home to the mainstream, performing reggae versions of popular songs, something you don't see often on the Idol stage. He sang "Cool Down" by Kalohi Kai and "Don't Let Go" by Spawn Breezy, introducing a huge audience to the island vibes that made him who he is. His song choices were a tribute to his roots, and by doing so, he wasn't just competing, he was representing his culture. He became the first Pacific Islander and the first person from Hawaii to win the competition. His victory was historic and a moment of huge pride for his community. He was the quiet kid who turned his pain into art. He was the underdog who, with his dad's guitar and his mom's faith, conquered one of the biggest stages in the world. On the surface, Iam Tongi had everything: the title, the record deal, and millions of fans. But the image on camera was only half the story. The private reality was far more complicated, and far more tragic. To really understand the tragedy in Iam Tongi's story, you have to understand the man who was at the heart of it all. His father, Rodney Tongi. Rodney wasn't just a dad, he was the one who built Iam's entire musical world. Of Tongan and Samoan descent, Rodney taught his youngest son to love all kinds of music, from island reggae to the classic country of George Strait. Their bond was built on melodies and harmonies. Rodney didn't just teach Iam how to play guitar, he taught him how to listen and how to feel the music. When Iam was only 13, Rodney spent his holiday paycheck on a guitar for his son, an instrument that would later become so important on the American Idol stage. Rodney was a tough but loving teacher. He pushed Iam to memorize songs, drilling him on the lyrics so he could sing harmony with him. Videos of them singing together show a deep connection, a shared language that was all their own. "The main reason I did music is because of my dad," Iam said later. "That's how me and my dad bonded." Just before he passed away, Rodney told Iam he had a vision that his son would one day travel the world with his music, and he would be right there with him, but Rodney's health was getting worse. He had a heart attack, 2 strokes, and finally, stage 4 kidney disease that required difficult dialysis treatments. The financial strain, along with Rodney being unable to work, is what forced the family to leave Hawaii. They moved to Federal Way, Washington, a world away from the island life they loved. In December 2021, at just 50 years old, Iam Tongi passed away. The loss was devastating for Iam. The music they shared became a source of pain. The guitar his father gave him was put away. For a while, Iam quit music completely. It was just too hard. Every note was a reminder of what was missing. He couldn't sing without hearing his father's voice in his head, a beautiful and heartbreaking echo. It was his mother, Lily, who helped him find a way forward. She knew that Iam's talent was a legacy from his father and that giving it up would be like losing him all over again. Iam had actually tried out for American Idol before but didn't make it past the first round. Discouraged and grieving, he wasn't going to try again. But his mom signed him up for season 21 without him knowing. She told him just 2 days before the audition, framing it not as a competition, but as a way to honor his dad. "Dad put so much work into your music," she told him. "Wouldn't you want to do it for Dad?" That was all it took. Reluctantly, Iam agreed. He picked up the guitar again, not for himself, but for his father. That one decision started everything: his viral audition, his historic win, and the complicated, often painful, journey that came after. His father's death wasn't just a sad backstory to get votes, it was the event that broke him, but also the one that, through his mother's love, pushed him toward the destiny his father had always dreamed of for him. The moment Iam Tongi won American Idol should have been pure joy. But life after the confetti settles is rarely that simple. For Iam, the victory wasn't a finish line, it was the starting gun for a new race filled with pressure, criticism, and an inner struggle that was a sharp contrast to his public image. Almost immediately, a storm gathered over his celebration. A loud part of the audience took to social media, claiming the win was rigged. They said he didn't win because of his talent, but because of his story, a sympathy vote that cheapened his victory and his grief. Fans of the runner-up, country singer Colin Stoff, were especially upset, arguing Stoff was the better singer. The internet turned into a war of opinions, with some even accusing the show's producers of exploiting Iam's loss. For any 18-year-old, this would be tough to handle. For a young man still mourning his hero, it was cruel. The source of his deepest pain was now being used against him to invalidate his success. But Iam handled it with a maturity beyond his years. "My dad always told me that your music's not meant for everyone," Iam said in an interview. "There's going to be people that are not going to like it, and that's okay." He even said he was guilty for liking the controversy because it showed how passionate fans were. But behind that calm response, the pressure was building. Life as an American Idol winner is a whirlwind. Suddenly, Iam was thrown into recording sessions, tours, and media appearances. It was a dream come true, but it was also a machine that left little room to process his new life, let alone his grief. In a very honest social media post, Iam later shared how much he was struggling. "So many amazing things were happening so quickly," he wrote. "But I still felt a sadness and an emptiness I could not escape." His father's ghost was everywhere. It was in the chords of his guitar and the lyrics of his songs. People thought I cry because I miss him, Iam explained, but it's because I hear him singing, and I can hear his harmony. The world saw a rising star, but Iam was a young man haunted by the sweetest ghost. Just trying to find his way, the pressure wasn't just emotional. He had to learn the music business, deal with the surprising costs of touring, and balance a professional career with just wanting to be home with his family. Then, in October 2023, tragedy struck again when his grandmother, Kalela, passed away. It was another devastating loss for a young man who had already been through so much. The victory was real, but so was the turmoil that followed. He was the first Pacific Islander to win American Idol, a cultural icon in the making, and yet he was also just a kid who missed his dad and grandma. He was celebrated for his authenticity, but also criticized for it. He was living the dream, but wrestling with an inner emptiness. This was the paradox of Iam Tongi's life after Idol, a journey where the highest highs were tied to the lowest lows. When faced with so much pressure and pain, you have two choices: let the darkness win, or start chasing the light. Iam Tongi chose to chase the light. He took a step back and realized that no amount of fame could fill the void his father left. The healing had to come from inside. This led him on a journey to focus on his health, both mental and physical. He moved to Memphis to focus on his music and himself. One of the most obvious signs of this change was his physical transformation. Iam started a serious health routine with a personal trainer, including workouts, ice baths, saunas, and daily walks. He revealed he had lost an incredible 115 pounds. But it was never just about how he looked. It was about feeling better, singing better, and living better, he said. The change gave him more energy on stage and made his voice feel stronger. At the same time, he poured everything he was going through into his music. Songwriting became his therapy. His original song, "I'll Be Seeing You," was a direct message to his late father. His single, "Sunshine," was about spreading positivity, reflecting his own journey toward finding hope. He was taking control of his story and using his music to share a message of resilience. His music also became a way to explore his identity. He continued to mix island reggae with the country music his father loved, and even added some soul inspired by artists like Al Green. He made his debut at the Grand Ole Opry, a dream come true that he knew would have made his father incredibly proud. This was the climax of his journey. After facing the dragons of grief and fame, he was learning to forge his own path. He was finding a balance between his career and his personal needs, with a strong support system in his mother, his uncle who became his tour manager, and his girlfriend, Leah. Iam Tongi was learning how to be both a public figure and a private person. He was no longer just reacting to what life threw at him. He was shaping his own future and chasing the light with a quiet strength that was more powerful than any spotlight. In the end, Iam Tongi's story isn't a tragedy. It's a story of resilience and the power of the human spirit to find light in the darkness. The heartbreak didn't define him, it refined him into an artist and a man with incredible depth. Today, Iam Tongi isn't a victim of his story, he's the triumphant hero of it. His career reflects this renewed hope. He continues to release music that is personal and culturally rich. In a beautiful full-circle moment, he recorded a new version of "Hawaiian Roller Coaster Ride" for the live-action Lilo and Stitch film. His singles, like "Waikiki," "Sunshine," and a soulful cover of "Unbreak My Heart," show an artist who is growing more confident and exploring his voice. He is now working on a full album that promises to be a mix of his experiences, blending the soul of Memphis with the spirit of the islands. More than just a recording artist, Iam is a powerful live performer who connects with his audience on a deep level. His tour schedule is packed, taking him to legendary venues like the Grand Ole Opry. He is living the dream his father had for him, and he carries that legacy with gratitude. Perhaps his biggest triumph is his role as a cultural ambassador. As the first Pacific Islander to win American Idol, he broke barriers and opened doors for others. He has become a powerful voice for his community, sharing the beauty of island music and culture with the world. He has even performed at the White House to celebrate Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, a powerful symbol of his impact. His faith and family remain his foundation. He openly speaks about his membership in the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints and the hope it gives him that he will see his father again. His mother, Lily, continues to be his hero and inspiration, always pushing him to be kind and work hard. Iam Tongi's journey is a powerful reminder that our stories aren't defined by a single moment, whether it's a tragic loss or a huge win. It's about the journey that connects them. If his story of resilience and hope moved you, let us know in the comments what part resonated with you the most. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories behind the music. The story of Iam Tongi is more than what it seems. It's not a simple fairy tale about a boy who won a singing show. It's the complex, heartbreaking, and inspiring saga of a young man who lost his guiding star and had to learn to navigate by his own inner light. He faced the crushing weight of grief, the blinding glare of the spotlight, and the sting of public criticism, and he came out stronger, healthier, and more himself than ever. He turned his pain into art, his heritage into a celebration, and his platform into a beacon of hope. The emptiness he felt after his win is now being filled with purpose, connection, and the joy of creating music that is true to his soul. The heartbreaking tragedy of Iam Tongi isn't his father's death or the turmoil that followed. The real tragedy